Welcome to your Kin Feedback and Fun Focus video. Okay, Kin, let's begin. So just for recapping, remember that Kin are protectors of a certain kind of energy. So please pause the video before you begin and really zone in on how you're feeling right now. Get something to take notes if you need, your phone or writing material. And you bring back to session what you feel you agree with, what resonates, what you disagree with from whatever I say today, and we move forward together from there. Okay, so what kind of energy are you entering this video with, listening to this video with? What do you want for yourself, seeing that we've had some time since we met? Any reflective notes before you listen to the video from any part of the fun homework that you've been able to sit with so far, whether you've done it or not. Where are you with it? Pause the video and check. Okay, and then the videos go in 3 stages: things we want to pay attention to, things we want to appreciate, and methods of amplification or focus points for amplification. And then I share at the end, along with the fun homework, what you any highlights I feel from the session that we have, anything projections I have looking forward, highlights, feedback, etc. I also want to note that my energy for this video is quite low today. I'm really trying to get it out to you because I said I would, but I also want to say that I have changed the way I do the videos, and as I had explained to you, they are based on my intuitive take from the feedback notes that I make through a session. So I just want to say that moving forward, that is how the video notes will always go, with zero promise for a specified date and time by which the feedback notes will come. They will come based on intuition and inspiration, because there's enough exchange in the session for enough reflection and journaling once the session in itself resonates. And it is so important to be able to sit by yourself without my feedback notes and see how the effects of the session move through you. There is purpose within the dynamic of the Sacred Dialogue classes for you to sit with yourself without my feedback first, and then get my feedback later and see what resonates, to what extent we are in tune with each other. That said, I do want to thank you for the effect of the session on me, because it put me in a position to really solidify that decision as a real point of amplification for how I run the session. So while it was uncomfortable in certain ways to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to do the video like this today, even if I don't feel great, even if I don't think I look great, and just because of the energy that I would like to put fully into the video, there is something to be said for all states of mind being necessary, and trust that my tone and my word sound and my manner right now is what is needed for you explicitly in this moment to listen to this video, and that and the trust of the fact that you asked for it by a certain date, and my allowing myself to commit to that. Sometimes we make exceptions, and we have to be accountable to ourselves for it, and to really find our points of joy with it and not beat ourselves up either way, or not beat the people up who we're making the exception with and for. So I thank you so much for putting me in that position, because that's the way I grow in my work. It's when I really find kin who put me in the position to amplify, to grow, to hone in on a certain kind of energy that I teach, and to allow myself to put into application. So full circle, thank you so much. Okay, so how these work is that I just literally read off my notes to you. All right, so we're going to begin for the section of attention, things that we want to pay attention to. Point number 1. I really wanted to have us pay attention to your ability to admit the profound pain that you expressed when it came to enduring the shift of the miscarriage, the breakup, feelings of rejection, and the essence of incompetence at work with how people were treating you and how you were finding things just not working out. It's we really need to celebrate in ourselves our ability to come to terms with how we really feel about things. And I want you to really take a moment and give thanks for the relationship that you have with yourself, that you are so good at paying attention to yourself to pull out the details that you mentioned. So speaking of details that you mentioned, things that we want to pay attention to, how you spoke about the booty call, and how you could have seen that it was one-sided, and that is a heartbreaking thing to come to terms with when we go through transitions in relationships. But that is a thing that men and women are working with throughout time because of the way we've been socialized around sex, where sex is one-sided in many relationships, especially when you're going through the dissolution of the breakup, that a lot of times one partner may feel that the booty call is for them and not for the other, and one partner may not be able to stand in a certain power and want it and want it and realize that it is for both of us and that we do miss each other and we are going through the messiness of this unraveling, and it happens. So just your ability to admit that was very, very important. When you spoke about the relationship not progressing, I wanted us to put a highlighter on that. And I wanted you to come to maybe write down a few things, maybe at least 3 to 5 things that you have now realized about yourself when it comes to relationships progressing. Let's define it. What does a relationship progressing really look like to you now? Not what you were taught, not what you've been holding on to for years and saying necessarily, even if it is something that you thought that you wanted. But right now, moving forward, for the dissolution and resolve of the relationship that you are coming through and any other relationships that are to come. Okay, and then we had you're coming to terms with the rage that you are feeling in being alone. That was very important, and for us to delve deeper into the rage to find the hurt, and how you spoke about daddy versus father, men's attention in your life, the pattern of men's attention in your life. Let's define that as well by the next session. What is your definition of father? What is your definition of daddy? What is your definition? What are you looking for when it comes to male nurturing, masculine nurturing? Do you really believe it exists? Do you really believe you deserve it? Why? Why do you deserve it? Yes, I feel you deserve it, and we will work through that in session. But for you, it's important, the difference between feeling like, oh, I mean, I deserve it, I guess I deserve it, and for you to be able to stand in your power and emit that deservitude that I teach about in session and in workshop. How do you know that you deserve it? How do you act like you deserve it? Not to beat yourself up like, you're right, I don't treat myself like I deserve it. No, not all of that. Just how. How do you know? Okay, so that was things that we want to pay attention to. Things I want to appreciate and throw highlighter on for that is the fact that you did not force yourself to say sorry when you were confronted, because you realized on that level, and we spoke about it a little bit when we were together last time, that we're often socialized to say sorry for things when we are seeking our self-adoration. And yes, there is an integrity and honesty component. Still, in real time and in balance, it doesn't always happen that way. So if you're having a hurtful confrontation about something and you are being forced to say sorry about everything, and you need time to sit there and decide, this is what I am sorry for. And that is important. And I wanted to show you that you were able to stand up in your power for yourself, and that's a big deal. And you phrased it as loyal to the cheating situation. But like we spoke about, the cheating situation, the way it unfolded, the way it came about, you're the only one who knows what was going on inside of you about it. And if there's a lesson to learn, then by all means there's a lesson to learn. And if there is integrity to be had and something to be said, then by all means that needs to be said. Still, what about the you who has been practicing allowing itself what it needs, yourself what you need? And that is what you are doing. And your ability to see that, though hurtful and devastating to the current relationship, only highlighted where being in the current relationship was you cheating on yourself for many years. And that in itself can be difficult to digest, but if you're willing to do the work, then it gets much easier. Okay, and then there was one of the quotes in the session that you said that your partner at the time had said that the child, that he was coming to the sessions with you because it was his child and he wasn't coming for you, but he was coming for the child, not you. And I wanted to say that there was something in your tone that spoke to the fact that you knew in that moment that this wasn't someone who knows how to enjoy being with you, and that ultimately you realized that you needed that. And I want you to really focus on the trust in your ability to attract that void in the relationship and trust that the void would have been filled, which is why you found someone else for a period in time. And that person was resonating. And that only shows you, if you will accept it, and we can talk about it more in session, but that only shows you how you can attract another, and that the more and more you get stronger in moving in integrity and self-kindness, in your ability to attract attention in general, you come to a place where you can take your pick. And with zero false hope for whatever it's worth, if you get stronger and stronger in your ability to attract what really resonates with you, you can attract past lovers if that's what you want and if that's what they want and it's happening in sync. But we're not sitting here trying to attract people. We're sitting here working through resolution and resonance. If you find that something resonates and it's available, then by all means, if you want it and it's right there in front of you, then it's yours. But it's not about seeing it as the object first. It's about seeing it as you being the center of your comfort, the center of attention in your life, you being the center of your life, you being that core emission space and reverberating what it is you're trying to attract and being clear on it. And when you're not clear on it, knowing that it's a blank slate and that blank canvas, you're able to create what you want and find out. Okay, and then also, you spoke about how you had become, once you had become comfortable in the relationship, then you recognized that you started saying everything hurtfully, because you just were not used to certain kinds of attention. And I just want to say that it's important to recognize that growth and that need, as well to reflect and realize that it's important to bring up the things that whatever you brought up hurtfully, it's important to bring them up, but realizing that they need to be confronted lovingly and with resolve, and that we can say it again progressively. So not to focus on beating yourself up, oh my God, I said this so horribly, but appreciating that, well, you are aware of it and you chose to confront it, and you also realize that you have said it hurtfully. Let's try to address it again, self to self, and in the context of the relationships where it matters, now in a progressive way, now lovingly, now with kindness for self and in balance with whoever is contextually involved. That you do deserve the resolve that you are going for, and you are going to get it. Okay, amplification. So I really appreciated that the way you just said, "Oh, I know my craft. I love baking," and I just wanted to put a highlighter on the fact that I want you to focus on your state of mind while you're baking and cooking, and realizing that it's so important that no matter what state of mind that you are in, you are grateful for being in touch with your way of expression, for being in touch with being aware of how you feel, no matter what it is you feel. It's not for you to fake joy and feign ease or whatever the case may be. If you're angry or hurt about it, there is that compassion hand that we spoke about during the breathing session. It's important to just know that, okay, we feel like this right now, and this is what we're going to do something about it. We're going to create some recipe for resolve. We're going to throw our energy into something and create something beautiful, and we're going to consume that elixir or ambrosia of right relation, that I'm going to spend my time creating something that I'm going to partake of and share with others, that has the energy of truth, self-kindness mixed into it. Okay, and then I also wanted to say that the bit on his mother um, and her interference, that as well is another issue that we have faced quite often in our historical context specifically, but also just women culture in general, how women have a long way to come in appreciating each other's roles. And I just wanted to appreciate how you're not feeling guilty about admitting her interference, how you realize the extent to which it was wrong, and you're not bashing her, but you can see what you deserve. And it's a long journey in our world when you have gone through various forms of trauma to really be able to see in real time, like, wow, I don't deserve that. And so I wanted to point that out as a point of amplification, that the more you're able to have zero guilt for admitting the things that hurt you, or just admitting sensation, period, your feelings, your thoughts, and your resolute action to them is a power and a strength. And I wanted to acknowledge that and highlight that for you. Okay, so my takeaway was when you spoke about your ovarian and reproductivity issues, and where your current condition. I wanted to say that for a lot of women, any forms of repressed creativity forms ovarian diseases of all sorts, fibroids, etc. So it's very important to allow yourself creative expression, to allow rage to not sit down into your throat and stomach and solar plexus, digestive tract and womb, but to bring it up and out, and bake more in your immediate space. But also, we through sessions will find other creative outlets that you haven't yet shared. But of course, thank you for letting me know that, and we will obviously be working more through that specific dissolution and resolve of that current condition. And just in general, find creative outlets, and I really appreciate your ability to recognize that you have them and that you're open to doing more. The openness is very important, and your ability to jump on the fun homework. The self dating is very, very important for taking loneliness on a journey and teaching it how to enjoy solitude and individuation, and making unions stronger from a place of individuation when you can bring yourself to a relationship, all contextual relationships, and really be able to appreciate yourself. It's then you're able to appreciate others, and it's not like you have to have one first and then another, but it's always happening, like double dutch. It's always happening in a concurrent way, and your openness through all of this pain is appreciated. And I take full responsibility and honor for being chosen to even help you in this one moment in time so far. And I really appreciated your takeaway that you could have ended the session standing firm and saying that the insults are not true and that you know you're going to be okay. That meant so much to me. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I do look forward to hearing how your fun homework activity has been going. No matter what you've done, whether you've only thought about it or you've actually done something or some things, I do look forward to hearing about it. So let me know when our next session is. Have a wonderful one. Talk to you soon.